we need to address one last and very sad story, and that is the story of
Ivy Wangeci. Yes.
Ivy
Wangeci.
Ivy Wangeci, a very beautiful lady, up-and-coming professional, 6th-year medicine student. She was working, and hell happened, Yvonne.
Yeah, let me just say, the manner in which the murder happened is completely unconscionable. That somebody, there was a lot of premeditation. I am more disgusted by the conversations on social media. The value of women's life in this country, clearly at the bottom. We are way lower than anyone else. And that is something that I take great exception to. When somebody has been murdered, please, this thing's about ego, about did he pay her fees, did he do this, did he do that? Really, it is quite telling of how much we value the lives of women and how we're constantly blaming the victim. She's not the first. All the way from Sharon Otieno to everyone else in between, it has always been, it's the victim's fault. I cannot imagine what that pain is like for her parents and her family, just seeing these...
because when you talk about someone and you don't know them well.
We are generally a country that doesn't value life. In general. I mean, the way we talk about life in this country, and we think we are. But I think, as Yvonne was saying, the many levels of premeditation for me were absolutely shocking, because by the time you travel from Nairobi...
From Thika.
From
Thika to Nairobi. All the way. Carrying an axe and whatever.
The axe were bought.
Those are like 6 counties. You're going past 6 counties.
The axe was bought in Eldoret or wherever it was. I mean, during this journey, because it's not a flight, so there's a lot of time to think about what you are going to do and all of that. So it is just shocking what level of rage, what level of anger, like what is really going on in our society where someone actually can reach those levels. Look at even the manner in which that killing happened. The kind of weapons,
on the road, in the middle
and the kind of weapons that were used. Who uses axes and those kinds of things in this day and age? There's just something that is...
Joe, this reminds me, when you talk about Ivy Wangeci, it reminds me of Mercy Keino, who was killed in 2011, or Carol Ngumbu, a 21-year-old medical training college student whose body was found alongside IBC ICT manager Chris Musando. Brings me to Faith Chepkirui, who was a first-year student at Kaiboi Technical Institute, who was stabbed 3 times by her boyfriend. The lady called Christine Mawanga, who in March, she was shot by her lover at their home in Kakamega. Or Vena Kemunto, a 22-year-old student also, who was strangled to death by her boyfriend. Or Cynthia Chelagat, who was in her final year of studying for a degree at Egerton when she was killed in February 2018. Or Sharon Otieno, the 26-year-old second-year student at Rongo. Or Beryl Otieno, who in February this year who was killed. So it brings me to how frequent these cases are. And look, there are some similarities with all these young ladies. They're all educated in their final year of school or in the first year, because they're girls who are working hard, who are in school. Nothing justifies murder.
Francis,
absolutely.
It's sad. It's very sad. Actually, you cannot even start thinking or comprehending what happens. It's a very sad situation. What makes it even sad is the insensitivity with which we deal with some of these things. Look, imagine people out there, these girls, these men who are being killed, these youthful people who are being killed, for whatever reason. There's no justification whatsoever, number one. Number two, imagine these people have parents, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have cousins, and you're meeting or you're being informed about the demise of your loved one in such a gruesome manner on social media.
It's being discussed,
it's extremely
in minute
insensitive,
detail.
And then the attempt to justify is what makes it even worse. So I think we need to really think as a country how we treat each other. It's
and whether women are safe
and just linked to what you said and what Joe said earlier about the value of life. I want to challenge 2 institutions to lead that conversation in just reawakening the national conscience on the value of life. The first institution is the media. Life is important, even a single life. 1, I remember a few years ago, I think it was way back in 2004, when Macan, a girl got lost in Portugal. And the British press, the way they covered that story was just, you will feel it. You will feel the value.
Madeleine McCann, yeah?
Madeleine McCann.
Yes, I remember, yes. Not been found to date.
Yes, the media must lead that conversation, but giving this important. Ivy is killed, but what are our headlines? The 4 calls. Yes, that's a big story.
Absolutely.
We don't know who between Raila Odinga and Ruto called the other a few years ago about something we're not even sure of. The second institution I want to challenge is the police. The police should also learn from other more developed and advanced policing environments. And I always borrow the UK, the Metropolitan Police, the Scotland Yard, very professional teams, homicide teams and all that. And even when they come to the media, we need to get rid of certain talk. You see an OCS or OCPD saying it was a normal crime.
Yes, it
There's
was
no
not.
such thing as a normal crime.
But can I say this as we finish, ladies and gentlemen? When I see all of these things, I see a problem with the Kenyan young man.
Yeah.
That the Kenyan man in general is becoming more and more unhinged, more and more out of control, more and more angry, more and more desperate. And I do not know what that is. But I think that there is a problem that if, as a society, we do not step back and say, what is happening to men? What happened to men being the protectors? What happened to men being the people who take care of their sisters and that sort of thing? How can we have a situation where now it is men killing young ladies? It has never happened in this, it never used to happen like that. In fact, what used to happen, men would fight with other men over women, but men would never kill young ladies. So something is completely off the rails, and we have to reflect as a society what is really happening with the man.
I think we need a serious men conference.
Yeah.
Leave alone ile ingine ya jokes.
And let me just
we
add
need
this.
a serious men conference because it's becoming problematic. These cases are one too many.
We're talking about men, Yvonne, and Chris on Twitter, I have to say this, says, please let's not forget to mention the men who were murdered by their lovers too. He's talking about actor Jamal Nasul Gaddafi, he's talking about Felix Odor, he's talking about Stephen Charles Kanumba, he's talking about Michael Kombe, and he's talking about Farid Mohammed, who are also victims of murder. We have to wind up now, ladies and gentlemen, Yvonne, Joe, Linus, and Gashuri.